So, P-chan, we're gonna
Hello.
we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna just talk about major points in the episodes and give our thoughts. And I think one we can really start with and really digest with this new kind of format that we're gonna try to do instead of just summaries is the Medalist anime that dropped last week. We have two episodes. We can talk about like some of the major points in the first episode if you want to remember some of them. Uh,
Mm,
so in the first episode, Medalist. I guess I'll give like a quick summary of what
Don't do that. Okay, God, again, don't.
the
You're adding so much minutes just explaining what we're doing that I really don't think it's necessary. I
All right.
really
Well, go
think
ahead. All right.
to engage people,
Tell me some of your
you need to
favorite
just
points.
engage, you know?
All right. Tell
So,
me your favorite part from
okay, The
part episode one.
Medalist, it's playing on Hulu and it has two episodes. And
Yes.
it's about a girl and a coach starting their career in the ice skating world. We don't know much about the ice skating world, but this seems to be an anime that it would go really deep into the do's and don'ts and the bias and the talents and the hard work. I feel like we're really gonna dive into in depth of what it really means to dedicate to this hobby as a career, which I really like animes that give
But
a sense of reality like that. So that's definitely the aspect I'm approaching this anime because that's what I'm seeing so far from it. Um, yeah, so go ahead. What were you gonna
I
say?
I was just gonna say that as to add on to what you said about all the hard work and stuff. It also um I love that this is like another adult MC that we have with that's
Right,
not that's like kind of
correct.
a coach to our I guess to our actual I don't know who the real MC. I think Inori's the real MC, um
Yeah. Mhm,
but we have another person that we can relate to. Tsukasa,
mhm,
the who's gonna become like Inori's coach because
mhm.
so the good thing about Tsukasa that I really found really appealing was that he was somebody that it was somebody that really showcased what it is to like get into a sport late or like try to turn your hobbies into something
Mhm.
meaningful, right? Like, cause I think he said he started like at age 14, so
Mhm.
like he had
Mhm.
like a super delay in all the
Start, yeah. Yeah,
yeah
he fell behind,
he
which
felt
I
too
really like too because it seems that this girl it's definitely there but a few years before, but he never really made it clear that he still wanted to reach those goals. I feel like that's something that he's growing into or is pushing for because he was not it's not that he was not serious, but he didn't vocalize it because he didn't feel like people were going to take him seriously because of how old he was already. So he thought he needed to just prove himself. And I really think that's part of we're going to see a lot of uh, like the way that he dealt with it and the way that she's dealing with it, because they're both came into the feel you can say around a later age, which is like a taboo apparently in this world to start like after 10 years,
yeah.
after your 10 years. Yeah,
I
after. Yeah.
so technically I think he said that 11 was like the cutting age, which is Inori's age. So
Mhm.
after 11, you would just not grow or like not be able to adapt anymore to like current people's skills or like to like at least to a level
Mhm.
adequate to compete in like the Olympics and stuff. So
Correct.
that's what's really appealing because Tsukasa kind of told Inori that, right? Like you gotta really, if you really want to do ice skating seriously, you got to do it now, or otherwise it's going to be too late. And of course, him having that background of starting late and then realizing how much he fell behind, and him just trying to keep up was almost damn near like impossible, to the
Hmm.
point where he couldn't really. I mean, he's like 27 now, and he still can't even
Hmm.
compete at a level that he wants. So
Yeah. So yeah, I was going to say that too. So we see that he's brought in by his like, one of his number partners for one of the contestants. She is the one is a coach at this skating ring, right? And she brings him to basically tell him, okay, I get it. You want to still make a name to yourself in this world, and that's why you still go to competitions and whatnot. But don't you think, instead of paying out of pocket, with odd jobs outside, you should dedicate that time in working within it so you can still practice, and things like that. And I thought that was a very nice hand that she's giving him, in like, and still telling him you can still make a name out there even if you start late, like, and I think the coach is really doing that, still. Obviously, we don't know yet, but we still haven't heard that he's gonna stop going to competitions altogether. I'm hoping that maybe we see him compete too, um and at the same time, I definitely think making a name of on yourself by being a coach of someone, it's just as good too. So it's a win-win for him, and I really like that our MCs are such different age, but in the same kind of path, like so differently, but in
yeah,
towards the same path. Yeah.
they're like parallels to one another, right? That's what's really
Parallels.
good about it. And also, not to add on to what you said, this is just gonna be like an actual like income that he's gonna, like a stable income where he can actually like maintain himself and still keep doing
Right.
what he wants to do. Um,
Yeah, and help him towards getting better at what he does, because that was also her point. Like, you're doing these jobs that have nothing to do with it. So at the same time, you're like having to spend time and not being able to focus on this, And as we saw in the second episode, a little bit, the dedication that one has to have, right, to really, really outshine everyone. It's obsessive in a way. It seems like, So really, really good. I gotta say that when I was little, I did participate in some ice skating lessons just
yeah,
to learn ice skating. But you obviously, because it was the only ring in our city, you will see the girls that will take it seriously,
yeah,
and you will see, flyers and posters about like competitions or just events about it. So there is this world out there, right, where people really are, you know are like it, and want to make a living for it, or just a name with it.
yeah,
And it's really interesting to
yeah,
see the behind the scenes work, more than just the program and the pretty dancing on the ice,
yeah.
so.
I think that's one of the parts that I'm really gonna enjoy about this one. And also like, to before we move on to like the actual background stuff, the last part from like episode one I really want to touch upon is that
Mhm.
Inori, right, our other MC, she really wanted to like open up about it, but was scared, just like the Tsukasa, and it didn't
Yes.
really came. It really came to like a nice shock to me, or like a nice way to end the episode when she actually like opened up from herself, right, and really told her mom about how she feels like there's no place where she really belongs, right, because of in school, like she's bad at school, and at
Mhm.
home she always feels like a nuisance to her, and the only place that she really feels like she has any self-worth is when she's skating, right? So
Mhm.
her having that whole scene where she explained that to her mom, and that made Tsukasa be the one that's like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna take her to like championship level, I'm gonna make her win, you know,
Mhm.
I'll be the
Yeah.
coach, I'll be her coach. And I was like one of
Definitely think it's so kind of beautiful how, they obviously we see the coach having all these flashbacks of his own like challenges in going into this world at such a later age. But his wall was more himself, right?
yeah,
I feel like that's like the difference between them, like I feel like he did have the support of his parents, he did have the support of, he didn't have nobody really talking down on him. Well, obviously there was the stigma, but more than anything, it was him before they thinking what they would think of him. Well, her, it's really the mom already stopping her before she even gets to say it, like I feel like she hasn't even been able to say it because of what happened to her sister. her
yep,
her mom already like kind of gave her the no, like, and she already feels like she's getting a no before she even asks for it. She's already got the no before she even got to ask for it.
yeah,
And I feel like that's a completely different way of speaking out, or and yeah, like you still, it is still you, the one that is stopping yourself, because obviously you still need to speak out and let your mom know how dedicated you are and how much you want this for her to like listen. But um it's definitely a more heavy layer on her, and
yeah,
to be able to stand up against. And I really like that he notices this so well, like he can kind of like from experience, obviously,
y-
so
yeah,
yeah, it's a great first episode. I also like to point out how their bonds kind of started with him noticing that she was playing with worms, and she thought, you know um I don't know. It was a little bit of caring of him to go and lecture the girl about it, but at the same time, the fact that he didn't just lecture her, but he like extended it a hand and like opened up the path to helping her do it legit, then it's a whole different you
yeah.
know
I feel like he's
um
almost also taking
thing.
like a father role, kind of like in the first episode, right? Because
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
um he's letting her know, like, you know this is wrong. You shouldn't really
right.
be trying to sneak in if you like, because obviously he cares for the sport, so he has a his. It was kind of funny when he was like, yeah, I used my hard on Murney to, like, get in here, and she's sneaking in. I can't have that. But it's more so like he wants to know how serious she is taking it, and that's why she was lecturing her,
Mm-hmm.
and also
Yeah,
like, and also just letting her know how things are. But
so very good episode. It's kind of crazy that the challenge in this episode was getting her mom convinced to let her take the classes, which they managed to do now with this coach. So yeah, so now we move to episode 2, which we get new characters.
yes,
Um,
I
really, I'm really enjoying the dynamic we're
mm-hmm,
getting from these new characters
uh-huh,
because we got both dynamics. The snobby, I started from very, very young. I know, if I haven't heard your name at this age, then why even bother with us, like kind of thing.
yep,
And then the don't listen to anyone has to say. If this is what you like, then do it. I do it because I like it, and I spend my whole time here, and that's why I'm able to be the best, because that at the end, that's what I'm aiming towards, being the best at something that I love. very, very like chef's kiss that
Yeah,
we got introduced to this two competitors who are going to be her rivals, right?
pretty
In
much.
this in this story. So really loved yeah, so go on about how you thought of these characters, and what they bring into to the story or
W- Well, the only one that I really have like something for is the girl, Hikaru, I believe that was her name. Um,
yeah, I think it was, yeah, yeah, huh?
uh,
Yeah.
I like how she is kind of like the opposite of Inori, right? She started early, so now you can really see
Mm-hmm.
like how somebody like progresses towards this, and also like it also gives like a benchmark to what Inori's skills could have been if she started younger, right?
Right. Right.
But it also like I feel like that's gonna be what's gonna be like a catalyst for her to like want to get better, as we like saw when she was trying to race her in the ice.
I very, very cute, by the way that she was keeping up.
Barely, but you know,
one was doing one was doing it effortlessly, and while she was struggling.
well, we can't really forget that she's just at the basic level, right? I think it.
Which I love. That's why I definitely love the difference, the drastic difference between them, and but I really loved that this girl, she is a national like champion,
Yep,
but her uh, perspective still on it. It's like
it's not enough. Like I feel like
not yeah, like not just that, but it's like I still can improve. Like
yeah.
I still haven't like reached my potential in a way, like, or I can raise the bar of of level that I'm at, like, and I really really enjoyed the
I mean, she's also kind of like a parallel to Inori, right? We're also like unlike her, she doesn't really have like that the mother figure to kind of like stop her.
right yeah, she kind of, I feel like that's her older brother, or something, or like an uncle maybe,
That's
or
that
cousin.
whatever it is, it's definitely her manager, right? Her,
Right, definitely her manager, but I feel like it's definitely someone that was close, or family friend or family member, that she was able to voice that this is something that she wants to do, and they basically took her seriously on, like, okay, you then we're gonna we're gonna be serious about it then, because we did see him, in a scene breaking a phone and like
that was so
just
funny.
having an episode, and that just tells you that the dude is just as serious as the kid, about it, like, compared to the other coaches would seem, right? Like, we see
Yeah.
that this guy is more of a, yeah, like, tournament coach more than I'm gonna teach you the basics coach,
We're
so
talking about Sukasa or this guy.
no, the black, yeah, the the her coach, the guy wearing all black.
Oh,
Um,
okay, yeah, yeah, okay. No, I definitely got a different vibe of him. I think he was more so like annoyed, or uh, he definitely did not want to
oh,
do.
maybe you're
He
right. It could be that it could go that way too,
yeah,
where he's just overwhelmed from the fame that she's gotten, or the status, or the attention that she's gotten for how good she is.
yeah,
Yeah.
because he's out there smoking. So like usually when you have a character that smokes, usually because they're stressing out over something. So like just having her like just constantly call him when she needs to like go ice skating and stuff, it's definitely probably what really did it. Like he's stressing out over all the her essentially and how she does, and like all the work that involves that she is having him do, probably driving him around and stuff, driving her around. But aside from that, I do like the whole aspect of like we got to see what other parents thought about Inari too, right? And how it affected her. Uh,
Mhm.
because I think when she passed her basic thing, they were almost kind of like mocking her to this end, like why are they wasting time on her, right? Because she's like already at the cutting edge basically. So like they were these are like jealous parents that wanted their kid to shine more. So like obviously having a coach spend time on her almost makes them angry and like my kid
Mhm.
deserves more, right? So like
Mhm.
little
And which the other coach has been very vocal about it since the beginning,
yep
right? So she's noticed their bond, and like she's happy for him, right? Because this is his first gig as a coach, and she definitely, wants him to be inspired and excited and motivated, But the fact that he thinks he's a private coach is very very bad because he isn't.
yeah he's
You know
showing
like
preferences.
he's not a private coach. Oh, and that's what I was gonna say. That's the difference between the other, dudes vibes between these coaches.
Mm,
He seems more of a private coach, right? you
okay.
you hire private coaches for programs, for like specific tricks and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, when you go to an ice skating ring and you go into those classes, coaches, it's more of a basic standard, thing.
Yeah.
So there's a huge difference there between the coaches too. And then um so there's a difference in how parents expect,
Yeah.
the kid to get treatment, and obviously we're seeing this giving the private coach treatment to this girl, right?
Yep.
And yeah, in the second episode that was so sad that she gets to overhear those comments and just thoughts and
Yeah.
opinions from the other parents, right?
Yep.
And
I
and
also
puts her into shock almost. But glad that this girl once again just shows up, and she seems to be pretty self-aware regardless of the difference in levels.
I mean I do
So
like I do like this second episode focused really more on how her mentality was, right? Because she's seen,
mhm,
like you said, Sukasa's kind of like showing her the basics, which is just like basic training, all that.
mhm,
And meanwhile, she sees all these other kids that are already like doing jump tricks, spinning, and
mhm,
she almost feels jealous that they get to be able to do all this. Meanwhile, she's stuck just learning the basics,
mhm,
and that even becomes more apparent when obviously when she meets Hikaru, right, where she's doing all this and she remembers that she was the one that was in like the first episode, right, doing the nationals. Uh,
mhm. Yep.
but
Very good stuff.
yeah, and
I
I
started.
I I love the anxious moments, right, where the coach Tsukasa noticed how anxious she was when she was about to take the test, and how he was able to calm her down, right, with like
Mhm,
just like the basic things, like how you move your fingers, touch fingers and stuff, and then the
mhm,
little cute part where she like held on to his hoodie, you know, the strings from his hoodie, and it's like these are like
mhm.
worms. I thought that was cute because the guy um does not like worms, and he was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and I like that that's portrayed in the
in the
in the
opening,
opening. So
yes,
yeah, so so you see that that's gonna be an ongoing thing that is gonna be with them,
yeah,
like. And then I also like that in the ending she has like this worm with her and they're dancing.
yeah,
She's like dreaming of the worms.
yeah,
Ice skating with her.
yep,
She was such a cute. Yeah, it was so cute. And then she has a plushie of one. I
yeah,
thought I thought okay. And I
yeah,
like that she goes out there to do that to calm her down, right? It seems to be Yeah, it seems to be like a subconscious thing for her to feel like she belongs there. Oh, she's earned her place there, right? I really
I mean,
I'm really enjoying
yeah. Um,
um
I guess the last thing we can touch upon before we move on to another anime is the how Inori was finally able to vocalize her feelings, right? At the end of how she wants to be able to
mm-hmm,
skate at the top level and how she wants to go to the Olympic, right? And win a and compete for the
mm-hmm.
gold medal and be number
Yep.
one. And then it's
Yep.
like Tsukasa was just kind of like, yeah, I bow to take you there, you
Let's
know?
go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And they have the
Mm-hmm.
new like fist bump that we see in the intro too, right?
Very good, yeah.
And no, yeah, Tsukasa's just. I think this is gonna. This has been like a really good anime. Hate that it's on
Mm-hmm.
Hulu, so there's not a lot of people talking about it or like seeing it. But this is definitely one I really enjoy. But
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I think that'll be it for the medalist. So, Bogus Skill, Fruitmaster, another new anime that we're gonna discuss. So tell me your thoughts on the first episode.
So, um, this is an anime that it's about them, it's like Black Clover, that they awaken their powers in like not mid age, um, but like 14, when you're 14, like teenage age,
Yep.
and obviously the we see that it's very very important for you to get like the right skill for you to become an adventurer, because because as we see here, the church, it's, it gave me a lot of feeling of Fragile. What was that one?
Taylor Frame.
uh yeah,
Me too.
yeah. You know, it gave me a little bit of that feeling with the priests, except that, the other one was a goddess, but this one is like a nun.
Yeah.
And but same vibe, they just kind of monopolizing and controlling the the heroes, you can say, or the ones with the super good skills. um yeah, it's very very nasty work. So we see in the first episode that the two best friends have promised each other to become adventurers, and as luck would have it, the girl gets to have like a super awesome skill that, makes her go straight to that, while the boy gets to have fruit skill, like just helping fruit grow, which is more of a farmer's. And obviously that makes him have to stay in the hometown and be a farmer. But because the powers come from a fruit, he gets to get another power by eating the fruit again, even though it's taboo, and you're supposed to be killed for it, right?
You
Um, I
technically,
also wanna
I think
I also
technically
wanna
you die if you eat a second one, which to me was kind of more so like a One Piece vibe, where like you eat a. It's kind of like a ripoff for me because it was like in One Piece it's like you eat a devil fruit you gain a power, and this
Mhm.
is kind of like the same way, but it's just a skill, and
Right.
you're not supposed to be able to have two, but this guy because he has
Well,
the
I mean, it's also like a kid to rip off. We're gonna be talking about it too, like
yeah.
that. The whole stores thing and his whole outfit, even though it's white,
Yeah.
but but it's exactly as Kirito.
Yeah.
But anyways, I just kind of wanna remember that his assistant didn't get the power of the fruit before, and that's why she was able to not die either, right? Because
Yeah.
that was
I,
the first time she ate it,
yeah.
in a way.
And that let us know like you don't have to necessarily come of age to eat the fruit, and
Right.
it just so happens that the church has made it that way for a reason that we are probably
To
going to
keep
find out.
control, probably to keep administration, to keep them administrated, right? To keep
Yeah.
them like
And also
to
like,
keep records of who is who and what they got.
yeah,
Yeah.
also the fact that the guy, right, what's the name, Light, he's able to produce fruit skills because of his skill, which is kind kind of like interesting because to me after like watching the second episode, obviously it feels kind of like uh these skills are not random. I think, or at least his wasn't random. I think somehow like they managed to change who gets what fruit, right?
Mhm.
Uh, but uh, I guess we'll to move on from a little bit further on when he actually gets
Mhm.
the to move on to like the a little further in the story when he eats it, right? Um, the other skill he got was like the sword master or something like that, right?
God, God, Sor God, or something like that.
Yeah, which I'm just like, okay, so he just got like the an upgraded version of his friend's ability,
Right, right. That's what I also thought. Mhm.
and
Or the male version of it.
yeah, essentially the male version. But the her right, having shown up, it almost at when Lena, the best friend showed up at the end, and she didn't recognize him. I almost thought, oh, like this is probably not true. She probably remembers him, but is choosing not to pay attention to him. But also like
Mhm.
now, or maybe she actually, I thought like for a second before the second episode aired that maybe the church like pulled one on them and like erased her memory of him or something like that.
Right, right. I know that was ugh, and the fact that we were left like that on the first episode was so cliche, but I was like, "Ugh, what are we gonna get it? Like you said, the church just kinda has control over her memories and and to keep them kinda in line, right? To kind of erase all emotion and bonds so they can just stay fighting. Or yeah, like what happened, right? Or like did he really did forget, or is she just a snob now and too good for him? What
Yeah,
what happened, right?
yeah,
And we find out that it's actually the opposite.
yeah,
It's because they're too snob that she was doing it to protect him.
yep.
Because if yeah, they we see, dude, honestly, this is another kind of thing that I kind of like about this anime is that like that other anime of the guy with the weird skill that he writes like different or sends people back to the to original world, right?
The no longer alive,
It,
no longer allowed in another
yeah,
world. Yeah,
yeah, that one. And like the fragment, whatever, like the heroes sometimes are the villains, right? Like how they get to it to power trip with their ego that they become the villains of those of those cities and stories. So I like that in this series as well we get that the heroes um take advantage of their status to just n- do things their way and not take responsibility for it, right?
yeah. So
Like like it's so nasty. I really hate that, but it takes more of an aspect of reality to like how the government can be or how um politicians are too.
yeah,
They make you or companies or just corporations, right? They try to pull a narrative that, oh, this is the best we can do. There's nothing we could do. And you should be thankful we did something, kind of thing, like um,
ye-
when underneath and in all truth and seriousness, they could have helped even more
yeah,
than than the meets the eye, but they're doing the bare minimum while getting the most profit, right?
yeah,
And it's I don't know, it is uncomfortable for people that want to just do it
for the
for the
fame.
result, not even, yeah, for the result, right?
Yeah,
Not for the profit. Yeah, I really, really hated that she felt. I kind of just hated the whole guy, how he slapped her, how he
yeah,
talked down on the peasants, right? I really hated that dude. That dude is
yeah.
like,
Luckily, at the end of the episode, he got his shit rocked in.
yeah,
Like
good.
I do like like you said, all that you said was really good. Like I love that the one that kind of feels like orchestrating everything. It seems to be like the holy
Yeah,
sister,
the
right?
nun.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I really hate how she cuts them off from all the work, right?
Yep.
Which which I love, love that she saw it as an opportunity to make up for all the times that she couldn't do the stupid works, and she actually left it like she felt like it was she was actually picking up after the heroes party, right?
Yep.
Because as we see in the first episode, um when while they do, defeat a monster or whatever, they destroy like the crops or they destroy like the housing or something. And then obviously the jobs that she was left with, it was like rebuild
Y-
buildings and or cleaned up like the water, and things like that
Yeah, it was like a bunch of manual labor jobs that are like more so for the people than actual like hunting down monsters and stuff, right? Things that supposedly were like they were like low ranking and low paying jobs essentially that they were giving them obviously because
right.
of but they were more fulfilling to her because she was actually getting to help people in that way,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
with the
not
other
just fighting the monsters, which I really like this perspective they're taking on about how, yeah, how to do missions or what the missions can entail and result in.
yeah and
So yeah.
yeah I also like and like you said like just the it just feels more worth it like seeing how the difference between how Lena acted doing these jobs and also like the higher ones, right? The ones that were actually paying her and helping her pay
Hmm.
her house. And
Right.
now we were kind of left off in like the episode kind of just ends with the holy sister just about to dump like a really nasty dangerous job on them that even the like her helper was saying like Lena might be able to
But
do it.
we know that she's trying to have the other two kill so that the girl doesn't have a party anymore and come back.
Yeah,
That's the
she's trying to
well,
force her to come back and work with the sacred team, which she basically put together to like defeat the demon lord. Which I don't even
I
know.
don't think she has realized that the guy has a second skill either. Because I feel like if she would know, she would already have done something or tried to do something.
I think
So
they did kind of skip that, right? Where
yeah,
actually no, I think the holy sister
obviously
does
we
know,
know
but Lena does not
we
know.
know that no, I know he's trying to keep it from her.
Mm-hmm.
That I know. So the fact that he's trying to keep it from her, it's what makes me think that she doesn't know.
Yeah,
So and the fact that she hasn't tried to question it or test it or or undermine it, like talk down on it saying like, oh no, it's a bogus skill or something. It makes me also think that she doesn't know.
yeah.
I feel like she would do something. I
Mm,
don't know, or maybe she will ignore it like it's not a big deal. We
yeah.
don't, yeah, I mean, this
I,
sister is,
I don't think Lena will mind.
it's a wild card. It's a wild card.
Yeah,
We don't know what move she will make depending on her threat, or how threatened she feels.
yeah. Um.
So
I,
and
so
it's only the position of power, right? Which is super political.
yeah. So I think definitely think Light is gonna get more skills because the his assistant Nyla was like saying, "Oh, maybe I should bring these fruit skills with me,"
I
like
know, right? That's what I was thinking too. I
because
wonder what we'll do that would, do like what is, yeah. It feels like it's a foreshadow of something.
it,
So we'll
I
see.
mean, it definitely feels like he's gonna get more skills because he's technically immune to the fruit skill poison, right? So I can imagine he can just keep eating them and keep gaining a different skill each time.
Maybe that would be super cool to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
That would make him the most OP.
I mean, it is. I
And I
mean,
think that is what the name is. Like
yeah,
I have like the weakest skill and I'm the most power. Yeah.
yeah. No, but yeah, pretty cool show. Pretty good premise.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It's very entertaining.
It is.
And the girl has very big boobs. Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
It is,
We,
like it makes me feel like, damn girl, aren't you gonna fall forward with those?
nah, nah,
Like
nah. She got a strong back. She got it.
that's I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. But
But
I think that,
what's next?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for this one. My Happy Marriage, episode 1 of season 2. So, you want to talk about the
Milo.
dream sequence first?
So I so we're kind of seeing them. Um, kind of. I feel like we're entering to. Obviously, the first season was about them bonding with each other, getting to know each other, and forming this bond. Now I feel like now that they're together and they're going to the public eye, we're kind of going to see how that unfolds, right? How what that does.
Yeah.
So everybody knows who Milo is and whose family she's from, and the
Hmm.
fact that she's marrying one of the, you know, powerful families as well. It's stirring up a lot of talks and opinions, in the city, to the point that the emperor, is coming to give them a fur warning, and then
I mean,
the dude wants to literally be hired
as a
so we
bodyguard.
can to his bodyguard, and then we see that the dad shows up and wants his introduction as well, right?
Yep.
And that's how they go to the estate of his parents.
Yep.
We meet that the dad is sort of like the sister, right? Even though he has his like looks and everything, but the the, the character is more like bubbly like the sister and
Yeah.
friendly. And then when she gets to the state, we meet the mom, which is like
The complete
a
opposite.
shock. It's a shock, right? It's
Yeah.
a shock to see that. I mean, it's not at the same time because he is so cold and serious that you kind of had to wonder where he was getting it from, and you can kind of see it now because of the mom, right?
Yep.
But obviously the mom has more of I don't know, less understanding and more of status ideals,
Yeah.
and therefore that's where they clash, right? Like he he has more of like his father's perspective or take on things, where those things don't really matter, and they're just, get in the way of really finding out who the person really is.
Yeah.
And obviously for a woman like that, meeting Milo was frustrating, and it was, I mean, it was frustrating to see even for me because
Yeah.
I it was tough. It was tough. That was a confrontation that
I mean,
didn't seem
yeah.
of happening, but at the same time, I wasn't surprised of it. So, I mean, the fact that she was like calling, I mean, it's true, calling her like a servant. In a way, she is kind of right. She needs to like portray herself and come, with more of a atmosphere and status of her. But I mean, she was treated like a servant all her life, so it's at the
Yeah, I
feel comfortable in that kind of clothes. So it's it's hard. It's hard, but I'm glad that Milo's taking on the like a challenge, right? She's like, I bet it's gonna make him happy
yeah.
if I get to have his mom like me. So
Yeah. I just want to say, like,
so
I
yeah.
do like the conflict that the guy has with the mother, right? To the point where it was like he actually stood up, like a lot
I
of,
will kill you.
yeah, he's like, I will kill you, or
I will kill
he's
you.
like, no more, no more talking bad about my soon to be wife, Uh, and
Oh.
like when he said it, you actually like felt that he was actually gonna go through with it. Like there's like animosity between him and the mother, which that's a whole baggage in itself that
Yeah.
we need to explore more. It seems like obviously
We'll learn. Yeah,
like
we'll probably learn more of.
yeah, we definitely will learn more, especially because they're right there for the mission that he's there supposed to do, right? Because a
Mhm.
demon appeared or something like that, which interesting, right?
Yeah.
We we kind of got introduced to that aspect, like the demons and stuff, like at towards the end, right? Or at least
Right.
some supernatural phenomenon with them at the end of the first season,
Mhm.
and now we're having like one that's actually out there finally.
Right.
And
And
there's
it's kind of interesting how the dad came to tell him about it, and then he didn't want to take on the job, but then minutes later, literally the government sent him to do it.
yeah, it's so he
I
has an
thought that
inside
was
job.
also,
So
yeah, I thought that was also pretty interesting.
yeah,
So it just tells you how tied his family is to the government, or yeah.
yep, definitely, and
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely do like the how uh, how the episode started too, right? I feel like that dream sequence is not it's something that we're gonna really come to understand why it happened, right? Because obviously her ability involves the dreams and whatnot, right? And
Mhm.
how she makes them a reality or something like that. And in her
Mhm.
dream, it was like almost like everything was taken away from her. Like you saw her be happy with like
Mhm.
all the people surrounding her, and then at the end, it just like turned into like desert, and she was left alone, and the only one that you saw there was Kudo, right? Or
Yeah.
and he was like, no matter what, I love you or something like that, and it's almost kind of like daunting, like maybe something's happening that's gonna like separate them or
Mhm.
like cause some friction between them, which I thought was gonna be. It's definitely the mother is gonna play an aspect to it,
Mhm.
as we saw how she's butting heads with Kudo with Kudo and stuff. And the end, I still like how even though we've had like a full first season of like her trying to accept herself and accept
Mhm.
that she and like be more open about what she wants.
Mhm.
How he still had to like let her know like you can get whatever you want, and
Right.
she was still hesitant about it, and he was like, yeah, we'll just get everything right. uh,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
the sunset scene
Very
was
good
so
episode.
nice. Like it was gorgeous. uh I guess the another thing, they're finally gonna be sleeping in the same bed, right? I think in the
Mhm.
and
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know about Milo. I definitely feel like she's gonna pull something.
I mean she went to
We'll
go,
see.
she went to get something else, but it almost seemed like this was gonna be the first time we were gonna see them in bed together, and then she was like kind of chickened out, like no, 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 not yet. Which really good. I like that we have much more growth for Miguel left, and also like her power, which the end of the episode. How do you feel about it with uh the shogun or like the prince, whatever, saying something about the Usaba clan being the ones that end everything?
Um, I mean, that has been the whole reason why they tried to get rid of her family
Yeah.
and rid of her powers. I mean, it's kind of like the ongoing plot here. It's like they try to bury them because they're afraid of their powers, and yet they bloom to cocaine with like the other powerhouse, you know? So no, I don't. I definitely think it's something that you cannot help like avoid. Like if someone's more powerful than you, they're more powerful than you.
Yeah.
No matter what you do to try to stop it or try to make it sound like it ain't the truth, it's going to be, it's the truth. So like, yeah, I mean, we're just kind of gonna see how they're gonna try to hide it or and stop it, or they be trying, and even this timid servant looking girl, it's still gonna overpower them. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
She's definitely gonna grow for sure. I definitely
like, like,
I
like
definitely
that's the irony of the whole thing, you know?
yep.
It's just, yeah.
Like somebody that's been oppressed her whole life, just coming out of her oppression to be the the top tier, you know, really good stuff. But I think I think that'll be it for like my happy marriage. Blue box
Blue
episode
box.
episode 14, right? So let's go with the big elephant in the room. Uh, Hina.
Yeah. So Hina confesses. Woo!
Yep.
Go girl. And I love that she makes like a whole joke of it. Like nobody's more surprised than I am.
Yep.
You think this is what I wanted?
Yep.
Like she's really letting him know that she's been thinking about this, right? That she has put some thought. This is not just like her emotions bursting, you know, out of nowhere. Um, and then we see that he isn't so slow and start catching on moments in the past where he's like, wait, even back then, even back then, like, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, bro, imagine that now that you know, and I love that when they see each other again,
Yep.
she's like, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted you to look at me as like the girl that loves you, not as a friend.
Yeah.
Girl,
I just want to say how cool the confession was, right? Because it's just not just
yeah,
that Hina was confessing, right? It was the fact that this entire episode was people taking shots, right, in one way or another. Um, like Taiki was taking shots at a basket prior to the confession,
hmm
and in the one that he landed, he was able to confess his love for Chinatsu,
hmm
and meanwhile we have Hina who's kind of like taking her own shot here, and it's being parallel to Shinatsu taking her shot at the nationals, but her shot
yeah,
misses,
yeah.
and it's so.
Which we know Hina's too does too, you know, eventually.
I mean,
She is.
we don't know if Hina's shot is gonna miss because she really tells him, you know, I want you to think about it. I don't want you to
Well,
not.
we know because she even says, "I already know you like her."
Yep.
Like
No, but what's cool about it is that I think
she has known.
yeah,
Oh.
she's been knowing, but she also feels like this is her shot to have one over Shinatsu, right? The fact that she
Mm,
confessed to him first is gonna probably weigh in his mind, maybe make her think
mhm.
whether or not he has the same feelings towards her, or because you know we have his stuff with Shinatsu is almost like, as the previous episodes have kind of alluded, it's not been what he expected. It's almost been like Shinatsu's been pushing him away, and but Hina has been getting closer and closer to him, which I think is why it's kind of being framed in a way where Hina's gonna get the upper hand over Shinatsu when it comes to to Taiki.
I
But
don't really think so, because that dude goes back to think about Shinatsu like again and again, like and again. I mean, obviously he's thinking about Hina now and sees her in a different light now, but this dude is just obsessed with the other chick,
yeah,
though. Like an obsession. Like and like there was a point where I think in the episode where he's like talking about the things that he likes about her, like he doesn't know what she's thinking. She's really hard to tell her, her emotions. Um, and that, yeah. So, I don't know, but I feel like if you haven't stopped liking her with all that and living together, you're not gonna stop liking her now.
no, yeah, for
So,
sure. I'm just saying that
so,
it
but
go ahead.
I'm glad that obviously, even if you don't if you're not there, you can see it, and we kind of saw that in the episode as well, which is that things something changed between them, right? Like between Hina and him, like their vibe, like the whole thing. So Chinatsu really becomes like a little jealous in a way, like, oh wow, like what happened here while I was gone, in a way. And and I like that, because Hina deserved that for sure. Like,
Yeah,
and like you said, she took the shot. Obviously, when I said she missed, it's like she's not gonna get the guy, but she essentially put herself in the field. So her shot really did, create an opportunity for her regardless. And
yeah,
and it's really really nice to see that even Chinatsu not being able to be there and know about it still can tell of it, right?
yeah. Like until the
And
change between the
yeah,
air between them. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So
but okay.
and it's sad how it broke, her bracelet broke.
Yep.
Um, but it's life. It's tough. Sometimes you really do everything you can for something, and it's still not good enough.
Yeah.
And it's really really hard to swallow that, but there's only one spot, and there's so many. So sometimes it's just even luck, you know.
Mm,
And
yeah.
but our girl is really down in the dumps. Like I can,
Yeah. I mean,
I can.
just having the whole shot where she's kind of like just looking at the basket, right, and just like staring at it, like almost like she expected it. She didn't. She couldn't believe that she missed that shot, right?
Right,
And
right.
not only that, but like it almost seemed like the bracelet breaking was also what, like, I think that's what kind of caused her a bit to like waver, because obviously this is the bracelet is like really important to her, because this was like her promise to
Mhm.
Taiki, and like vice versa, right? That they would both win the nationals, and
Mhm.
this almost feels like, well, she sacrificed so much and she still couldn't keep up that promise that she made to Taiki.
I know. Poor girl.
So
Poor girl.
yeah, and I do like that the episode did kind of start off with, you know, her having doubts, right, about her skills and stuff, but she does feel like more alive in in the court than she does in life, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, and so how do you feel about Hina getting third place? Because that is one of the things she.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm,
That's awesome. Happy. It seems like we're gonna be around for another round of nationals, or like,
I mean,
so.
I mean,
I know
definitely,
he'll make it.
yeah,
And Taiki, I know he's gonna go to nationals, so I'm excited to see.
yeah. It's definitely.
And
I'm
this time we're gonna probably see it. So.
Yeah, we definitely need
Hmm.
to see Taiki make nationals next time around. Obviously, he has
Yeah.
a lot of growing to do, and even Hina like
Mhm.
notices she has a lot of growing, right? Because she was, even though
Mhm.
she got third place, she's like, that's not good enough. She wants to win it all,
Mhm.
and yeah, her just like you said, Chinatsu got a final gut punch at the end of the episode, which was just damn.
Mhm.
I was like, that didn't happen to me, but that still hurt me, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah,
Agree.
yeah, definitely. Blue Box has been interesting. I think that's gonna be like part one of this discussion. So for YouTube people, uh, if you want to catch this a week early or a few days early, just hit the hit the like, I mean, hit the like. Well, first hit the like on the YouTube video, subscribe, comment, and catch us on Twitch, where we stream these discussions in advance. Uh, Everything will be in the description. Follow our social medias, all that good stuff.
Bye.
Mm-hmm. Okay.